This is the Corsair VOID RGB wireless headset. With 7.1 surround sound, a lightweight design, and a reported up to 16 hours of battery life, this wireless headset aims to be the gamer's dream. But is it? I set out over the last 2 weeks to find out whether it's any good and whether it's worth your cash. So then, we have here the Corsair VOID wireless gaming USB headset with RGB lights on it. And it's very similar, of course, to the wired USB version that we saw late last year. And that was a headset I really liked, to be perfectly honest with you, because while the sound quality and microphone quality did leave something to be desired, especially compared to standalone solutions, it was very light and comfortable to use over long periods of time. And for me, that's one of the main advantages to a gaming headset, rather than using a pair of dedicated headphones all the time. So with this one, it's slightly different because, of course, it's slightly heavier due to that added battery to enable it to work. And rather than plugging straight in, you just simply plug the USB dongle into your computer and then pretty much you're away. Simply charge the headset and then you are gaming wirelessly, or at least you're listening to the game audio wirelessly. And the whole design has stayed very similar, and it sort of is a nice balance between performance and keeping that nice light feel while still having a slightly premium look about it. And it does have a slightly plasticky finish to it, which is okay. It's a matte black finish on the top, and then the colour that you have, so this is the white version, is a matte white version as well. And then as soon as you move down to the ear cups, you have a little bit of gloss there, but otherwise it's a pretty matte solution. So the top is made of matte plastic. Then the bit where it attaches to your head and is fully adjustable to fit any size that you want. And this is a foam with cloth, so it's not the most premium solution out there, but for gaming I think it's ideal because you're going to be using them for a very long period of time, and it does a good job of not sort of feeling sweaty after a couple of hours of gameplay. Moving down the headset, we have the microphone that extends up and down, and then we have the infamous Corsair RGB logo, and this is completely customizable in software, but we'll talk about that later. You've got a couple of buttons. You've got the power on button that you hold down to turn on or off. You've got a microphone mute button, and then of course the microphone, when it extends, it's not really flexible. You can't really move it, it's just up or down, but you've got the microphone here, and you've got a couple of lights as well that can be used as indicators, so either low light battery indicators or something else, and I believe this is configurable in software. The hinge bit, because they twist all the way around, I'll show you the other way, so if you want to sort of have them around your neck like that, you can do that, or whatever reason you would want to do that. And this is a metal hinge actually, so it does a good job of looking a little bit more premium. One thing I did notice with the black version, that was the black version of this headset, this is blacked out, so I didn't even realise it was metal when doing the original review, until I touched it at least. And then on the back you've got the USB, the micro USB I should say, connection for charging it. You've got a little volume knob, and then that's pretty much it really. There's not really too much else to say in the physical overview, of course, other than the labels left and right. But while I do like the look and appearance of these headphones and the feel in the hand, they do still feel maybe not quite as premium as they should do for something that costs £100. Compare it with some similarly priced headphones, the Sennheiser Momentums, and they just win simply hands down when it comes to build quality and just look and feel of the device. But these are very light and they are very comfortable to wear for a long period of time, which is probably the most important thing for me besides audio quality. So that's it for the design, but what about the audio quality? Well, I'll quickly say that this is a 7.1 equipped headset, so you can enable Dolby 7.1 surround sound in the software. Do you want to do this? Well, it's definitely worth playing about with it, and that's exactly what I did. But personally, I found that it didn't really give me a better sense of immersion, and if anything, it just made the sound quality a little bit distorted. But I have to say, I didn't try sitting down with this setting enabled for 2 hours while playing my games, so your mileage probably will vary. And that's one of the cool things, I guess, about having some sort of software control. You play about with things until you get them the way you want them. But the actual raw sound quality for a headset is pretty good. And having a wireless version, I think maybe there's a very, very, very slight amount of hiss, but really isn't really anything to worry about in all honesty, and I expected a lot worse. But the actual quality of the sound, the bass is quite nice, it's not overpowering. The overall sound is quite clean, but obviously it's never going to compete with a proper pair of serious headphones. And if you do want to do music listening, then probably I would recommend that you get something else. And when I say something else, I mean not a gaming headset. But a gaming headset, as soon as you start using it for games, starts to make a lot of sense, because you can use it for a long period of time while still remaining nice and comfortable. And that's exactly what I did, and I've been using this for the last 2 weeks, and before that I was using the wired version of this headset, and I have no intentions to switch to anything else. Personally, I'd still rather use a pair of speakers or a pair of headphones that were super comfortable, but if you want a nice all-in-one solution, the sound quality of these are good, and for a gaming headset, they are good. But it's just that, it's a gaming headset.
Now, as for the microphone quality, well, this is it. And yes, it's not great. It will do the job, and if you just want to use it for voice over IP, in-game chat, basically anything that's non-professional, it'll be fine, but it would be nicer if it was a little bit better.
Now, this being a gaming headset, of course, you get gaming features that make these perfect for gaming, and these includes RGB lights that you can change to any colour you like. But of course, as soon as you put it on, you can't see them. And I just think having RGB light and selling this as a dedicated feature of a headset is just absolutely ridiculous. I did this in the last video I did, but it's just, I can't see the lights. What on earth is the point? And the only thing that I did kind of slightly like, guilty as charged, about the wired version is that if I have them on a stand, then you can see the RGB lights when you're not wearing them. But if you do that on this, you're going to waste the battery life. So it's even more pointless, arguably, than having them on the wired version. There's not to say that it's not a bad feature, but it's just, what's everyone's obsession with RGB lights at the moment? I get it on a PC case, but on a headset, no, not. Doesn't make much sense to me at all. In all seriousness though, back to the review I guess, rather than turning into a rant, the battery life has, I have to say, has been very good. I've done 2 full charges of this headset, that's it, 2 full charges. I charged it up this morning, and so that has been 2 charges since 2 weeks ago, an average of about 2 hours gameplay a day. You do the maths, it's rated for about 16 hours, and I think you're basically going to get around that, which is quite impressive for something that is as light to use as this. So overall, in terms of battery life, I'm very happy, and I think you would be as well. Wireless range, well, the room I'm in now is not that big. If I go outside the room, it's fine until I sort of go behind some walls, and then we start cutting out a little bit. Same if I go upstairs, there's a kitchen upstairs. If I go in there, sadly it doesn't work either. But as long as you're using the headset in the room, I don't think you're going to have a problem. And the wireless range as well is rated in quite highly, so I don't think you're going to run into too many issues, if any, in terms of range. And that pretty much is everything that I have to say about the headset. There are a couple of additional things, such as Q-Link, I believe. I'm going to check. What have I got written down here? It's got Info Mic and Q Control. Both really exciting features that enable you to control the settings of the headset and see what settings you've got by looking at the lights on by the microphone. Or you could just Alt-Tab and change it in software. So, you know, maybe that's not fair of me to not really care about that feature, but I don't really care about that feature, and to be honest, you're probably going to get more frustrated trying to use some fancy system like that, or you could just Alt-Tab into the software. But there you go, that has been the full review of this Corsair VOID RGB wireless headset. Hope it's been useful. And to bring it to the conclusion, I guess, what you have here is a very, very good gaming headset. Not entirely sure that it's worth £100 of your cash. If you want a gaming headset, then I think this is definitely one to strongly consider, because it is very good, and I am using it on a day-to-day basis. I'm enjoying using it. But unless you want an all-in-one solution, say if you have £100, you say, for your audio solution, so you want a decent headset that also has a microphone attached to it, and you want something that's wireless, then yes, this makes perfect sense to go to, because if you tried getting some decent quality wireless headphones and then a microphone and anything else, no, that's the only 2 things you'd need, isn't it? Then you probably wouldn't get it in budget for £100, which is why this sort of makes sense if you want a gaming headset. But I do ask you to ask yourself, do you really need a gaming headset? Because this is a very good one, but a lot of people will be better off with just a pair of headphones and maybe a standalone mic. But that's a decision you need to make for yourself. Overall, it's a very good headset, it's very light, very comfortable, and it sounds pretty good as well, which is why it wins the top purchase award for headsets. Let's make no mistake, I personally would spend that money on a pair of headphones, but you might be different. So, thank you so much for checking out this review as always. I really appreciate you joining me for the review, and I hope it's not been too long, ranty and boring. That's my main selling point, I guess, that they're not those things. And then we get to a point in the video like now, and it is those things. But if you like those things, then please subscribe for more videos like this. If you want to see the original review of the Corsair VOID USB wired headset, you can find that in the little eye around there. Spoiler, it's pretty similar to this review, but if you are seriously considering this or the USB version, it probably is worth checking out. And for other videos, check out the channel. Anything this year has hopefully had a lot of a more higher quality look, and I hope you're enjoying it. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but let me know either way whether this video was worth watching, I guess. So, thank you so much for checking out this video, as always, and I'll see you in the next one.